Hey everybody, this is Gabby's Games, and welcome back to Crossout 101. I'm gonna put this in Crossout 101, and it's basically about the newest update 9.70. And I'm just going over the changes and the mostly, oh god, mostly the economical changes with the new resources. So, we're just gonna dive right to it with the new resources, batteries, and uh, plastic. For 10 days currently after the update, we get a special workbench where we can trade wires 1-to-1 at a 1-to-1 ratio to these new resources. Uh, people running a PME all over the place. And these new resources are basically gonna be included in crafting of epic and legendary items. So you might ask yourself, doesn't this just made crafting more difficult? Well, actually, like they actually are subtracting the amount of the original resource you have to earn. For example, you used to need more wires than you do now, and you now need plastic in return for an epic, but they just are earned in a different way. And I'm actually pretty happy with that because basically, um, electronics are currently only earned in heart rates. However, you can earn the batteries, the alternative um, resource cost for legendaries in missions now as well. So basically now legendaries, that specific resource, you can get 50% of that in raids and 50% in missions. And for the batteries, you do them in raids while you do the gather wires in missions. So with those changes, basically they made it that you need to play a bit of both on both epics and legendaries to do to get the resources required for it. Well, the electronics were moved to raids wasn't very liked, but the developers did want to have the resource partially at raids, so they decided to add new resources for that. Currently, the you can change wires for batteries, and it does seem the both are of more value than the wires will be. So I do strongly suggest to take use of this flea market thing and make the best use of that. Another change that I did is a change to copper cost. So you can see copper now it costs quite a bit more copper to craft items. But in return they also increased copper earnings across the board with any mode, including invasions, hard, medium, and easy raids. Your Leviathan rewards from deployment, just everything is just increased, so that's overall pretty balanced out. And according to the developers, some of them were even the rewards were increased 3 times across the board, but not all the costs were. So some of them became a little bit cheaper. According to that, probably also to support the change to the batteries and plastic. The plastic being a raid only, I'm not really too happy with that, but I don't really mind the battery change because the reduction in electronics does make it worth it. I would say the change doesn't seem too bad. I'm a little bit out of Crossout for a little while, so I haven't been spending too much attention to everything as much as I should. But if they have I have not gotten the old recipes list exactly to with me, but if they changed it so that the electronics and batteries requirement are pretty much the same, then that would be an improvement. Like if the reduced amount of resource of the original, the reduced amount of original resources balances out the increase of the new resources, then I really do not have an issue with that, to be honest. And there are also quite a few balance changes, but one thing I'm going to point out is they reduce blueprints crafting cost. I'm pretty happy with that, and they also made that blueprint increase also affect your own blueprint items. I'm just going to check this. Can I just... I probably still can't. Yep. Okay. They still are limiting that for us, which is a bummer. But I don't really mind that much because I do understand what it. The moment you pull out your microphone, sorry guys. And still, yes, guys, I do not really edit, and I'm actually really short on time, so I cannot really record this. Sorry, guys. But the changes do not seem too bad, actually. And because of the increase in like own exhibition slots, they also made those increasements a little bit more valuable. So I'm pretty happy with that. And they also like cut off all the faction stuff, which also is like the market trades for like the new materials. They like took it out and make everybody like send new resource requests. So I'm pretty good okay with that. They did it pretty smoothly. Things I am curious to are currently the clan wars with Leviathans. That's one thing I'm really curious to. I think I'm gonna build like an actual battle Leviathans a few times from now on to support that mode. And of course, last we got a Peter pack. 50 euros. I pretty much was sure that that was going to happen. 50 with the tram pack, and I got my settings blocked. Basically, I had for a moment I could only go up to this side and this side, and then I was like, oh, you cannot move your cursor outside of the screen. It wasn't locked into the screen, but into the actual window. I'm loving this engine sound. I'm gonna say that first. That's an amazing engine sound. Damn. We got a cloak, and as you can see, 2, 3, 4, the percentage increasing for as long as you're active, and it decreases, not in percentage, but just like you have a time at which it is increased. Which is kind of nice, I would say. I'm gonna turn on the bots, and I'm gonna deploy one of these mines here. They do seem to be affected by physics. Let's see if I can get you to be stuck, or do they see... They can look like they can actually trap multiple guys at once. That's pretty cool. It does look more like a troll weapon than an actual combat weapon, to be honest. But with the beater, actually comes quite a lot of stuff. I'm just gonna go over it. So of course you get the epic ghost cabin and the Capcan mine layer. Those got like 2 stickers and a new paint. The paint is really cool. Gotta say that. Overall, I would say it is a little bit less. I don't know. It's like a little bit less value than the Trampack, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, you got an epic cabin instead of a rare cabin, and you got a rare weapon. Epic weapon. While you also got an epic weapon. Yeah, so like that kind of evens out. And it goes. You probably get on the hat, but you get 4 steering wheels and 2 non-steering twin wheels. I still don't get why they're taking non-steering twin wheels. If they had thrown in 2 steering twin wheels, it probably would have been more value. But with that, like that comparing to 2 armored trucks, the armored trucks are more value. Although they also give you like a large ammo pack. I think I'm actually getting confused now with the whole pack. Like what it exactly contained. I was pretty sure it was a large ammo pack, but also maybe small ammo packs. I'm goofing out. Sorry guys, but in return for the 2 tracks, you get an epic cabin instead of a rare cabin, but the rare cabin was also unique. So it was also more value anyways, and this one's again like more valuable as well. You got a chameleon light generator and 3 sledgehammer, so you do get quite a bit of stacking rares. But I would say the chameleon isn't really worth it. The light generator isn't really worth it. And the sledgehammers aren't really worth it either. So like it's kind of painful. Like it is a really cool pack, yes. Like, do not mistake me with me thinking this is like a bad pack, but I do think it's a really cool pack, but it doesn't seem to have the value in there to really be worth it right now. They do give like pre-access to the new armor parts, which are actually added into the nomads. So you do not have faction like the specific pack only armor pieces because you get the equipment pieces right here and right here, so that's okay. But I don't know, it just doesn't really seem to have the value that's, for example, I mean, the icebreaker out like it's 40 instead of 50, and it has more value. It comes with 2 epic, it comes with a total of 3 epics, and a bunch of rares. Compared to this thing, like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel worth it. 55. 5 epics. And I don't know, it just really doesn't seem to be that valuable. I mean, even this thing comes with a epic weapon. Well, that's 30. I don't know. Sorry, guys, to disappoint you that I were hyping about this thing, but I just don't really see this thing be worthy. And actually, the mine layer is pretty darn big as well. It's a 4x4x3 space by the looks of it. And that basically makes a really big weapon for basically what is the turreted version of a harpoon. The Skinner. And like, how much is all this stuff worth for a joke weapon? Pretty much. A does seem to be a really good cabin. Like, I do have to give them that. It does look like it's gonna be a really good cabin. Similar to the Arachnophobia cabin pack, but I just doubt how much value this entire pack contains as a whole. With a Trinity Mark 1 not overall is not being valuable. The generator not being valuable. If it was a hazardous generator alone already, then the value would have improved there. The 3 shotguns, they just don't contain value at all. I mean, the both other rare like all the other rare shotguns are just overall better. Junkbow is better, Goblin is better, Spitfire is better. Just everything is better than the Sledgehammer. I mean, overall, I don't think like I'm not just not impressed with the update and like okay changes, but I mean I'm not really excited about anything here other than maybe the Clan Wars Leviathans, but I do seem to currently limit it to only Leviathans, which kind of sucks because you do not have the normal Clan Wars anymore, and there are probably gonna be some bugs and other big stuff being in there that's gonna be broken. So yeah, just not, to be honest, I'm just not here with my head entirely, guys. So really sorry about that. Not as excited and everything as normally, but it is a decent update. Like they slightly reworked, or well, just reworked economy. It's not really improvement or worsened. Like it didn't really change. It just reworked. And the only thing I'm really like I am happy about is the blueprints increase cheaping and making them also work for exhibition slots, because that is cool. But yeah, that said, hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode of me spacing out nonstop. And yeah, I will see you guys all later. Bye, guys.